So I think a key piece of the puzzle that lots of people miss out when they're thinking about their life, they're thinking about how to plan for the future, how to be wealthy, how to do a lot of things like that, is that they don't think of their life in terms of a portfolio of short-term, medium-term, and long-term projects or things that you need to do in the future. And what do I mean by that? I want to talk about that today. So the short term, there's lots of things that you sort of need to satisfy on a daily basis, right? So you need to eat, you need to have some water, you need to, have some place that you can sleep, sort of really basic things. And as human beings, we tend to focus on those things really well. We understand those things because those are our immediate feelings that we actually have. And then we don't think about, we should be thinking about the medium term, things that will allow us to survive and do well in, say, 5 to 10 years. And so these are things like investing in your family, like spending time with your family, spending time that, having some breaks, all of those kind of things that are important for the medium term, that allows stability in your life, that allows you to live a decent life in the medium term. But I think a lot of people fail to sort of think about the longer term bets that are really important, and the projects that are really, really long term. And these are things that are like passion projects, or things that you could see the future of you doing something that are remarkably cool. And nobody does those particular things. Nobody does the really long-term things, or things that, where you're thinking about, what am I going to do when I'm 75 years old? Or what am I going to do when, the time comes where I have to switch and do something else? And there's lots of things that you could do. Maybe it's figuring out, that you want to do fishing, or maybe it is thinking about, like, actually want to bike around when I'm really old, or maybe I just want to lounge around on the beach and do those kind of things. And so the implications of these longer term projects are thinking and doing strange things today. That's really what it means, is thinking about how you can be strange and unusual today, because what you're trying to do is thinking about, okay, so my immediate terms, the short terms, are the things that allow me to fit in today, that satisfy my needs today. But in the long term, it's doing things that allow you to not fit in today. And they allow you to be kind of off kilter with what everybody else is doing today. So living below your means is one way that you might sort of see this. Being okay with shopping at Walmart, or shopping at dollar stores, or any of those particular kind of things, or, not eating and not doing vacations, for example. Any number of different things that you can think of that allow you to just kind of feel unusual today. And what you're thinking about is doing things that are for long-term benefit, that will allow you to do the long term. One of the things for me, it's actually doing these YouTube videos and doing this whole reciprocity project. It is really highly unusual, and nobody does this. And it feels awkward for a lot of people. Most people I talk to are afraid to do this kind of stuff. I feel unusual a lot of times, but I'm thinking about the long-term benefit, where eventually, perhaps there'll be opportunities that come of it that I would never recognize, or be something that is enjoyable. All of this is thinking about short-term, medium-term, and long-term benefit, and where things possibly can go. And if you start thinking about your life in that way, in terms of little buckets, am I satisfying those little buckets, where you have a portfolio of little buckets and projects and things that you're working on, you're going to have a much more diversified portfolio from the perspective of living your life. Now, why do I talk about this? Because this is exactly what companies do, that do innovation, that sustain themselves for a very, very long time. they don't think about the short term always. They think about doing things that are wasteful, that are unusual, that people will make fun of them for, that just does not fit within the norms of today. And if you look at all of these things that you do, right, in a company that don't fit, that don't make money, birthday cakes is number one example that I like to give and talk about. There's no financial benefit of a birthday cake today. If you are to bring a birthday cake in, then that doesn't make any financial sense. It's a complete cost. But the reason why you do that is because you're thinking about the medium term tomorrow, and you can do some really good things and build social capital. You build a community within the organization. And sometimes a lot of companies do things that are really, really far off in the future that just don't make sense. And you could name any particular company that you're thinking about today. Maybe it's Meta, for example, or Google, or any of the technology companies, any large multinational company. They do things that are really unusual, that just don't make sense. And they do the exact same thing that I'm trying to tell you to do, is to break up your entire life and think about the different projects where you are satisfying the things that are short-term, that give you short-term benefit and allow you to survive today, the things that are in the medium term and allow you to have a good, fulfilling life in the medium term in the next 5-10 years. And then they also think about those weird, wacky things that are a decade, 2 decades out that just don't make sense today. And they try to invest in all of those things. So that's what I'm trying to get you to think about, is how you can invest in all of those particular things so that you're constantly living a nice, healthy, and balanced, happy life. And as you start thinking about those projects, whatever those things are for you, you start making wiser decisions that allow you to sustain yourself into the future. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.